Hello, everyone. Welcome to my Technique Tuesday. I'm your creative coach, Lisa Fulford, and I'm so glad that you're here with me. And the card that I'm going to do is a one layer card. But before we get started with that, I've got a couple things that I want to share. Um, for last night on my Make It Monday, I shared my newsletter, and I'm going to share it again real quick. Just a remind that on March 6th, so that's day after tomorrow, I'm going to be doing my mystery stamping on Zoom. And I think for the duration of March, it's going to be on Zoom. And I think maybe in April, I might try to switch it over to the Facebook Live. But if you have any questions on that, if you go to my Facebook page, which is Creative Coach Lisa Fulford, you can find that information there where I give the clues. And then you cut your own cardstock, your own papers, and just follow the clues that I give so that you can have all your bits and pieces together when I go live on the Zoom call to put that together and solve that mystery on that. And if you want to purchase anything from me, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and there's a few things that you might want, there's a last chance list going on. So if there's anything on there that you may want to purchase and you don't already have a demonstrator, here's my host code 33ZTKX3Z. And it expires by the end of March, March 31st. I believe that might be a Tuesday. And then on this here online virtual class, it's a masculine class and it registration by March 14th, 2025. And then they should be ready to mail out March 21st, 2025, as long as there are no delays on the receiving of the merchandise. But um, talk about that just a little bit more. The masculine cards, it's a card class it's a virtual event. It's in your own home. So what that means is I will I will have videos and I will have the PDFs and you will receive those. I won't be live on camera doing it along with you, but there will be videos and PDFs for you to work with the videos, and you can do it in your own home at your own pace. And so that's what a virtual event for me is that I do all the work of cutting out the cardstock and making the kits up for you, and then you do it at your own pace in your own home. And so the deadline for that, like I said before, is Friday, March 14th. And then the mailing date should be Friday, March 21st, as long as there are no delays on the receiving of the product. For that, you are going to receive a half a pack of the DSP that I'm going to use, and you'll receive a partial pack of the embellishments, and you will also receive a partial thing of any ribbons or twine or anything that I use. And so we're going to create 5 rustic masculine cards, and I know it's featuring the Autumn Expressions bundle, but that does not mean that it's going to be autumn cards. And it is on the last chance list, and so I may have to do a substitution, sorry, if needed. And I'll come up with something to sub for that. And you'll love the outdoor feel of these cards, and I have a couple of them here that I'm going to share. And you can choose what option you want. If you want just the PDF, that's $30. And I can email that to you, but I won't email it until the date. And then the online, you can get the PDF plus the pre-cut cardstock. It includes the gems, the DSP, the ribbon, and that's $49. But if you want it all, and what that means is if you want a full pack of the DSP and you want a full pack of the ribbon and full pack of the gems, then that's the option. That's $78. You'll get the pre-cut cardstock. You'll get a full pack of the DSP, the ribbons, the gems, things like that. I'm also going to use the Something Fancy stamp set, and it will also be used um, as the extra sentiments. The sentiments in the stamp set, there's a few of them that we are going to use, but then I'm pulling from this something fancy just so that I have a few other sentiments to use so that they're not all the same, because there are very few sentiments in the actual Autumn Expressions bundle. Now, with this card class, you're going to receive the stamp set, not the die cuts. If you want the die cuts, you can add those on as well, but you will, as long as supplies last, you will receive the Autumn Expressions stamp set in this kit. And that's for any of them. And then, like I said, it's virtual in your own home. The deadline, again, is March 14th. Mailing is Friday, March 21st. And you will receive that while available. The stamp set will be included in your kit, just the stamp set. And you receive 5 cards, video, and PDF tutorial provided. You just have to provide your adhesives, ink pads, and other sentiments if you don't purchase the something fancy or if you don't already have it. So that's really what it is. And you can go on my Facebook, Creative Coach Lisa Fulford. And so there is a link there to register for this. You can find it on my Facebook page. You can find it in the the events pages and things like that. So if you have any questions, just email me, and that is Creative Coach Lisa 0915 @gmail.com. So we'll get started with our card. I just had a couple of those things that I wanted to share. Oh, before we start the card, here are 2 of the cards that we're going to do. This is one, and then this is the second one. This is 2 of the 5 cards for that class. So we will get started with our one layer card. I had for my in-person class, we do a swap for the in-person class that I have each month. We do a swap. I tell them what the swap is going to be. And then I had that paper. It was on my, it's on my newsletter here. So the in-person class, then this one was a single layer card. Last month was thinking of you, and next month will be graduation or congratulations. So they had issues with my single layer card swap. And so when I say issues, they grumbled about it, which is fine. I know they like to embellish and stuff, but sometimes we got to go back to the basics. And so that's what today's Technique Tuesday is going to be all about. It's just going back to the basics. So I'm going to use the stamp set Spotlight on Nature. And then this is going to be my single layer. It's a piece of thick, basic white cardstock. It is 4 1/4 wide by 11 inches long, and I scored it at 5 1/2. So that is going to be my single layer. I don't have any other cardstock. I don't have any DSP. I don't have anything else but stamps and ink to put on this piece of cardstock here. So to me, it depends on how you layer things on there. You can make it more depth just on how you put things on there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in, all I did was I took a piece of Post-it note and I ran a die through and cut out the size of I wanted. You can use a punch, you can use whatever. It was just easy. There was a die laying there that was a circle and I wanted to use it. So I just ran this through, cut it out because I need to use the circle and I need to use the negative part of it. But first off, I'm going to put this down. Oh, let's see. Where do I want to put it? I think I'm going to put it maybe about there. And I want to make certain it sticks. I do have my cardstock just a little bit off, and I don't want to end up stamping on the inside whenever. Let's see if I can get that there. Now I don't see it hanging over. Okay, so I'm just putting that on there as a mask. Okay, so it's just the Post-it note down. And then I'm going to bring in Petal Pink. I'm going to set that off to the side. And then I've got Basic Gray, or Basic Beige, I'm so sorry, and Soft Seafoam. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up. So I can tell that's the Soft Seafoam because that's kind of green. And then this one here is my Basic Beige. Turn those around so I've got the actual little tabs to kind of tell me too. All right, so I'm going to bring all my stamps in. So I'm doing the leaf, the thank you, the butterfly, and the flowers. So I don't need the flowers as of right now. And before I get started, oh, I'll grab it from here. I'm going to make certain, because sometimes I forget to clean a stamp or two, and I see that I did that. I'm going to get something to clean that with. Just have a box of some baby wipes handy. I forgot to grab my little chamois, but those work great. But I don't have it here, and I don't want to pause to go grab it, so I did not clean my thanks, so I know that one's clean now. I'm going to check some of these others, see if I forgot to do those too, because I kind of forget sometimes. And so I don't want to ruin my project before I get started. Yeah, I didn't clean this one either. Well, I think I get in a hurry, and I think, oh, I'll just do that here in just a minute, and then I move on to something else. And yes, I'm using one of these little thin acrylic blocks because, well, I have all these. I have another class I'm doing, and I have them all loaded up with stamps, so I had to look and find what it was that I had that I could use, and that happened to be one that I have handy. All right, so I'm going to use the seafoam for the leaves. So I'm going to ink this up. I'll bring this down just a little bit. I've got it clear up off the camera. All right, so I'm going to ink up my leaves. And then I'm just going to start stamping. So I'm going to stamp there. And this is a light color, so it, it doesn't show up real dark. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And as I said, it doesn't show up real dark because it's that light seafoam. All right, so that one I'm finished with for right at the moment. I may have to bring it back in, but I don't think that I will. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and close that just in case I stick my hand in it, and I'll go ahead and just set this up there, and that relieves some of the stuff on my desk. All right, so this has a huge border down here. What I can do is I could take a pair of snips, and I'm going to trim that away, I think, because I keep always getting a little halo. So I know it seems bad that I am cutting my stamps, but it helps me prevent getting that halo. I'm willing to do it. So I just cut a little bit off and made it a little closer. And then I could put that on there like that. And throw that bit away. So I want to make certain that I have it straight as I can. I'm going to try it and see if I get it straight. Looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp thanks. and thanks, and thanks. I'm just going to keep stamping it. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. So I'm adding depth by adding the extra things. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to grab is my little splotchies that are in the set. Oh, I didn't clean those either. And there's still a halo on those, but it's a little bit smaller. Like there's a little bit there, but it's a little bit smaller. I think what happened to this set is some of them got cut off center, because see, it goes clear off here, but then there's all this right there. So I think my stamps just got cut, like cut out off center, because same with this. This is real close to the edge, but then I've got all this extra. So I'm gonna just tap that. I got a little bit on that edge. Stamp off, stamp, stamp off, stamp. I'm just randomly filling in some spots. Don't want to make it crazy. Still want that thanks to show. There. I think that looks pretty good. So I've used the splotchies. Move those off. I'm cleaning them. I think I'm finished with the leaves, so I'm going to clean that as well. But I'll keep it out just in case. So now then I have the majority of that finished. So I'm now going to take my piece and I'm going to line that up with that circle. There, like that. And then I'm going to pop that part out. So now we're left with an opening where nothing's stamped. Okay. That's not too bad. I'll keep that for another time. I will need that, but first I need this one. This is Petal Pink, and I have this little blending brush. Pick some ink up. Start off, and I'm going to fill just a light hint of color. And you probably won't even tell it's got color on it until I pull that paper off. I'm trying not to get up underneath that paper and try not to lift up the paper. I want a very crisp circle, and I'm not going off my paper because I don't want that line. I'm trying to stay right here in this circle. You can make it as dark or as light as you want, and see, it still doesn't look like there's much on there, but I bet it's darker than I'm thinking that it is. But I just keep adding a little bit more. I want to make certain there is definite like that. All right, so close that up, this over here, and now it's time for our other things. So I'm going to ink up our floral, and this is a large floral, so I'm going to turn it over and bring the ink to it. Okay. And I don't want that halo, so I'm going to make certain to wipe that away just in case I get a little zealous with stamping. There we go. There's still a little bit more on there, but I think that part looks pretty good. And then now I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to stamp that floral like that. And just press, and I want it to adhere well. There's a train going by. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but they keep blowing that horn. So that looks pretty good. And then let's see where there's the butterfly. I want to ink this up gently. I can check it to see if it's inked up well. Can't tell that there's any on that. Right in that corner, like right here in the, doesn't look like there's anything there. Now I'm gonna have to clean that edge where the excess hangs off because I don't want that to be there. To get it all inked up, I had to get it, press it kind of juicy. All right. Then I want to bring this in within that circle and lightly touch. There we go. Now the body's not as crisp as I'd like, but it'll be all right. All right, so now then we can peel this away. And I said that you wouldn't be able to tell it without taking the paper away, but see now then it looks like there's a piece of cardstock there and it's giving it depth. Now I'm going to bring in some of our pencils, and there are watercolor, and I have a water brush here. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take the brighter of the colors and I'm just going to color in the base of the flowers. And I'm going with those stripes that are on the actual flowers themselves. And then I'm going to also kind of add it in on the butterfly like that. And then I'm going to go with a little bit of coral. Same way with the flowers. I'm going to add a little bit of the coral. I want to bring in the crushed curry at the ends. This has a few steps to it, but it's not, I mean, it's a fairly quick card. Didn't time it today to know how long that it took. I did, for my cards yesterday, I did make a timer so that I could know about how long the card was and how much the talking was. I usually don't talk that much at the beginning, but I had a lot to share, so I figured I'd better promote my class and go from there. All right, so this is how it looks so far, and that looks pretty. I'll like dry this off a little bit, and then I'm just gonna kind of blend those colors together. I'll grab a tissue. I forgot to do that. Oops, my lamps went off. Okay, so I don't want them to be too wet because this is not watercolor paper. This is just our thick basic white. So I'm just kind of blending that from the pink out towards the edges because I want to blend that pink into the coral, into the yellow, into that curry. You can just keep adding a little. You don't want to get it too wet all at once. And then I'm going to do the leaves. And as you're blending that out, the detail comes back through the leaves and the different, see how that is? Isn't that really pretty? All right, so we're not finished yet. We're going to now work on the inside. I didn't want to work too far ahead because I wanted to get this finished and let it have time to start drying. All right, so now then, get that off to the side. We're going to stamp on the inside. We're going to ink this up. I'm going to stamp this off this time, and then I'm going to stamp right down here at the bottom. I just want to get those flowers on there in that corner. And then the butterfly. I'm going to ink that up. I'll come up here at the top and stamp that. And that turned out really nice. It's all looking kind of green, but our basic beige has a bit of a green color to it. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing on the inside here. Is we're going to add, I did stamp that full strength, and we're going to add the Melon Mambo. This is kind of like those adult coloring books. Because it's very, you know, like intricate little lines and stuff. I bought those for family members this last Christmas. Some of them I'm not certain how they felt about them, and others are like, oh, I love those. To each their own on that. But it's kind of relaxing, especially whenever you're using watercolor pencils, and then you know that it's going to come out with something totally different. And I know that you guys probably don't want to watch me color all these things, but it's part of the process. I think whenever you add the water to it, it makes it more vibrant. I'm trying to blend all those colors together so that whenever I use the watercolor brush, it really blends it out. And like I said, this is a thanks card, so you don't necessarily need a sentiment on the inside, but you are more than welcome to add one to the inside if you like. And then, but the insides matches the outside of the card, and it says thanks all over the front. Then you could just write what you're thankful for on the inside. And with this being a larger stamping and different things, then there's not as much area to write. But if you want more area to write, then just maybe don't add the butterfly, or add the butterfly and don't add the flowers at the bottom. Or because I mean, you can have as much as you want or as little. I think for me, writing in a card, less is more, but that's up to whoever, you know, what your, you know, preferences on that. A lot of people take up the whole front and the whole bottom, and then they write on the back. They've got a lot to say, but I like to keep mine short and sweet and to the point, and then go from there. I gotta clean that, and we're almost finished. There's a step or two I still want to do, so I'm gonna close these up. And if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know I like to add a little shimmer to most things. And so I'm grabbing it here. And all I do is take Wink of Stella, put a few drops, probably 5 or 6 drops down into this tube, and I add alcohol to it. And I fill it up not all the way to the top because you have to have room for the plunger to go in, and then twist it on. And this is a spritzer that we carry. And so I like to do Wink of Stella, and I can do both Wink of Stella and this, but I'd like to take it, and it gets gathered at the bottom, and I like to shake it up, and then I hold it, and then I spritz it, and it gives, well, you can see it on my hand, but it gives it all kinds of, get if it'll focus there, it gives it shimmer and shine. See, you can see it, like, especially right here, but as it dries, it gets shinier and gets glittier, more glittery. That's it. I couldn't come up with that word. Sorry about that. And if you want to come in with Wink of Stella, you could add it to the wings of the butterfly. You could add it to your flowers, make them extra sparkly. But you can add depth and dimension to your cards just by doing layers. This is one layer. There's nothing else added, but by doing some blending with our blending brush and then layering up our stamping there, changing the stamp for the flower and the butterfly so that it doesn't go on to the rest of it, then it makes it look like there are multiple layers on this card front. So that is it. That is our 1-layer card. There's nothing to it. It's just using a bit of imagination on how you want to layer it up. And I found this to be quite adorable to add all these bits and pieces and make it look like it is a multi-layer card. So I hope that this inspires you to try to do 1-layer cards as well. I hope you enjoyed my Technique Tuesday. I also hope that you will consider signing up for my masculine cards class. And hopefully you can join me on Thursday for the mystery stamping. And if you have any questions, just contact me. You can either email me or ask me the questions in the comments below this video in the comment section. And hopefully this will give you inspiration to either do birthday cards, thank you cards. You can make it whatever you wanted. I happen to like that thanks in the stamp set, so I always need thank you cards, and so I decided to go with a thank you. So thank you for being a part of my crafting community and for supporting me with my YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you who join in with me. And until next time, happy stamping. Bye-bye.